folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Good morning. Sun is getting ready to peek up over the trees in the hill to the east, so maybe it can burn off some of the frost. We had a pretty cold evening. First heavy frost of the year for the 1st of October. That's a little unusual here, but they're saying it's going to warm back up this week. But some of us are enjoying the chilly morning weather better than others. That's right, folks. It means something. And no, I'm not selling these. This is a cup my daughter got me for, I believe it was Father's Day. And I like it. It fits my hand just right. Anyways, are you folks ready to get out of Dodge? Come out of her, my people. Flee Babylon. Bug out. Get to safety. Yeah, I talk about it, and so do many other prepper channels, about moving yourself to a place that it's safer. Because more and more, as we are seeing, the cities and even these urban, suburban areas are just not safe anymore. Not only are they not safe, but the probability of you being able to survive a long-term crash is becoming less and less likely. I know. I hear it from you all the time. I can't leave. I got a job. I can't find a job. There's not a lot of jobs back out in the country. I've got family. I got family nearby. I'm taking care of my mother. I've got kids in college. My wife just doesn't want to leave. On and on and on. I hear it all the time. And I get it. I understand that these are legitimate, valid reasons that makes it difficult for you to just pack up and leave. I got a mortgage. I can't sell my house. No one's buying houses now in the city. Yeah, it is. And the thing is that these places out in the country are getting bought up real quick, especially the ones around the cities. Every city you go out a certain distance and you've got countryside and where you can still drive into town. Those places are becoming fewer and farther between that are available, and especially available within a price range that you can afford. I've seen places around big cities, kind of out in the rural areas around big cities. I've seen them go for, land go for $20,000 and $50,000 an acre farmland. I mean, that's absurd. Out here where I'm at, you can still get land for $2,000-$3,000 an acre. In fact, just this morning, I posted on my Patreon page. There's a little plug. I'm getting to a point today, okay? Stay with me. I'm getting to a point. But I posted on the Patreon page a little house and land that I was driving by, and I saw it, and I took a picture. They had a big piece of plywood. I guess it's a for sale by owner. 2.5 acres, something like that. 3-bedroom, 1-bath house for under $50,000. So they still exist, and it doesn't look like a junker. It's an older farmhouse, probably needs a little fixing up, but it certainly looks very livable. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a realtor, not trying to make money doing that, but I do post that kind of stuff over on Patreon. So these places do exist. And I think more than ever, you folks need to draw that line in the sand. They've already crossed many, many lines, right? The whole world, and especially the United States, the things that's going on have crossed the lines. And you have to, for once and for all, I believe, make your decision, what you're willing to sacrifice. Because it takes sacrifice for most people. There may be some of you that just have enough money in the bank to go out and buy a place out in the country. Most of us don't. Most of us, we have to make sacrifices to live this lifestyle and to get to a place that's a little bit more safe. Are we completely isolated and insulated from danger living out like this? Absolutely not. but our odds of survival are definitely increased because we live like we do. And folks, I don't want to sound like some of these other people that's constantly trying to terrorize everyone because it's the sky is falling and the end is near. But the truth is, I do believe things are getting bad. And was having a conversation with my wife on this, and we were talking about, I wonder what's going to happen first. What is it? What's going to be that final straw? I mean, I believe that we are already seeing a SHTF scenario play out, but one that's still livable, one that still, has some semblance to normalcy, right? But what is it going to be that's doing that final crash, final break? And one of the things, among many, could be market crash, dollar crash, hyperinflation, civil war because of the elections, all this stuff with the president and becoming ill, where supposedly has a virus and is in isolation, and just on and on. There's all kinds of rumors. And then a second wave coming. New York has already going back under lockdown. I mean, they have in no way whatsoever recovered from the initial first wave lockdown. And here they are locking down parts of the city again. And I think it's only going to get worse. So we have to, because I'm already out here, you have to make a decision. It's serious, folks. I mean, it's absolutely serious. I believe it can get to a point that it's truly life-threatening. It's truly, do or die. I wanted to point out, I know I made a video, I've actually made a couple in the last week or so on the market, on the financial collapse, things like that. I want to point out some things, and this isn't really the main focus of the video, but I'm going to go ahead and throw some, I don't know which side I'm going to pick, but I'm going to throw some little graphics and stuff up here beside me. For those of you that really kind of follow or kind of understand the economy, the markets, things like that, if you're not aware of these numbers, you should be. And I am no way an expert. I know enough to probably get my fingers burned. But I do know enough to see danger when it's coming. So the GDP recently, the second quarter GDP came out, and it shows almost a third of it has lost value. A drop of about 31 to 32%. That's pretty significant. A huge drop. Also recently, the national debt clock ticked up past 27 trillion. So now we have more debt than we have GDP. That alone is a little frightening, okay? That alone is a little frightening, that we have more debt than we have GDP. The Fed, since March, since about the start of this pandemic, right, has added about almost doubled their sheets, almost doubled the amount of dollars that they hold. And if you look at this graph that I'm going to be placing here, hopefully, as long as things work out like I plan, you will see a very fast and rapid uptick in the amount on their sheets of what they're showing that they hold. From a little, actually, if you go back to September of last year, they're under $4 trillion, and right now it's somewhere around $7.5 trillion. So nearly doubling their balance sheets. And where's this money coming from, right? They're just making it out of nowhere. We all know that. It's fiat currency. And another thing that isn't looked at very much, but this fiat monetary quantity, okay? Some of you may have heard of it. Most of you probably haven't. I know a little bit about it, but not much. And from my understanding, it is the number of actual dollars, actual currency in circulation, total amounts for the nation. And right now, it is showing, I don't know if I have the graphics, but we're going to try to put them up as I'm speaking. It's showing that it is higher than the GDP. Historically speaking, when a nation has that, when it's a flip-flop, where there's more currency in circulation than there is GDP, and when the debt is higher than the GDP, when the GDP is lower than those things, it's basically a sign of hyperinflation, from my understanding. And most all nations that this has happened to has ended up hyperinflating their dollar. And the spending isn't stopping anytime too soon. The House has recently voted to approve another stimulus package, and I have no doubt, maybe not that particular one, but I have no doubt that a several $1 trillion, $2+ trillion stimulus package will be passed and will be signed and will be spread out among the people. And so there's more dollars being dumped into the economy that have nothing, that they mean nothing. China has been hinting around at possibly dumping some of the U.S. dollar in debt. This is a bubble that we've talked about for years, you and I, people like us, that's going to burst, and it's bursting. Okay, it's happening. Everything, it is a perfect storm. Everything is in play for it to explode, and when it does, our dollar is going to lose all value. And so does that mean we go to a scenario like Venezuela, or will they unveil a new digital currency, a new global currency? Who knows? We're at a point right now that you just might be able to get by on the skin of your teeth of surviving, of getting your house in order, of getting your preps in order, of getting yourself and your family to a place that you can survive this and ride this out. But I don't think there's that much time left. I don't think that there's a lot of wiggle room. And I don't want to come across as just this of hyping it up. I'm saying this because I do have some care for people that I don't even know that's watching this channel. I want you folks to survive this. I want you to get through what's coming as best as possible. So whatever you are doing in your life, if there are things that you can cut out, if there are things that you can change, sacrifices that you can make, and sometimes those sacrifices, we don't think we can handle them, but really we can. To make a move, to make a change in your life, to get you to a place, that you can survive this much better than you can right now. I know many of you are already there, and it boggles my mind that some people just still aren't getting it. I've actually talked to some people recently, some people that I know. I know someone that lives in California, kind of Southern California, and they're hoping to ride it out there into Homestead. There's been over 600 earthquakes in Southern California in the last 3 or 4 days. Something's happening. Someone else, they're wanting to move. Now the sun's getting ready to come up and pour right over me. They're wanting to move to the Pacific Northwest, up into Washington State. The state's on fire. Their politics, and I understand most of it's in like Portland and that's Oregon and Seattle, but all the stuff that's going on up there, it's probably not a place I would want to be right now. So choose wisely. There are, as I've talked about in this video, there's some places around here that are still pretty cheap. I mean, you can easily buy you a house with land, at least enough to have some chickens and a garden and maybe, even a few sheep or something like that. Nothing big, but something that's survivable, for less than $50,000. I don't know how else to say it to get a point across to people and not sound like some kind of doomsdayer. But folks, I believe the time to make that decision is now. And I believe that you don't have much time left. And sometimes we have to do things that are kind of radical when it means protecting ourselves and protecting our families. So I want to implore you, encourage you, kind of push you a little bit, because I could be wrong, and I hope that I am, but I don't think that I am. I think that things are rapidly changing, and it's at a pace that it's going to be very difficult for us to stay ahead of the game. I don't know how else to say it. Things are getting rough, folks. We have to come together, build community, prepper groups, mags, tribes, whatever you want to call it, connections, relationships, community. We are a communal animal. I understand there's still some lone wolves out there, but coffee's getting cold. I don't like cold coffee. We are a communal animal, and that's how we were designed. A communal person. I don't mean animal like we're animals. We're just a communal people. We were designed to be that way. And start talking with people, reaching out, move to a place like out here, and start talking to people. Man, we didn't know anyone when we moved here. I'm from the Ozarks, and I grew up and lived an hour and a half or so south of here, but right here where we're at, didn't know anyone. And within just a few weeks, I'd already met several people that are like-minded, and since then, most of the people that we've met fall within the like-minded category. So it's possible, and this is something that we have to do for our survival. The economy is looking awful, folks, absolutely abysmal, and the whole tensions with the election and the president and what is really going on that no one really knows looks awful. The second wave coming in looks awful. The Great Reset looks very likely. So now more than ever, you gotta get to where you need to be. Come out of her, my people. Flee Babylon. Get out of the cities. Whatever it takes, folks. I understand, but you really need to do it. All right, folks. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.